Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so it's recording now. Great.
Hi there, I'm Miranda Showen and I'm here with Brynn O'Connor.
Hi.
And we're here today to talk about our film Sonder, A Talk with Ed Johnson. Now, to just start off, I'm just going to do a quick little explanation of what Sonder is in case you're not familiar with this term, because most people may not be. So Sonder is a noun that means the realization that each random passerby is living a life as complex as your own and populated with their own ambitions, friends, routines, weird and inherited craziness. So that's just going to be the focus of what our film is. And we highlighted that with one person, which we're going to talk about on the next slide with the more film synopsis. So our short film talks about the story of Ed Johnson, who is a man who's been living on the streets of New Orleans, and it talks about his love for art and drawing and just the joy he receives from creating, especially elephants. He has an authentic and genuine story that shows his experience, passion, growth, and understanding, and those feelings are all feelings that humans experience universally. So it's a beautiful story. Taking the time to stop and talk to Ed provided a new perspective into how we treat people like Ed, as well as the people that surround us on a daily basis.
So the three main things that we focused on for our film were the filming and the natural flow of the consistent shot style. So we wanted to make sure that it felt like our audience was really connecting with Ed Johnson, as well as really conversating with him, rather than just watching a video of him talk about himself, because the whole point of Sonder is to really understand that the people around you are living just as complex lives as your own. So I wanted to make sure that was really sticking out in this film. There are mentions of New Orleans, Louisiana. However, there are no real location. I think that this kind of adds to the universal experience and the universal vibe of situations like this and people like this. I think that you can find people like this anywhere. So despite his experience being located in New Orleans, I think that it's important that we kind of steered away from that and just made it more universal and more relatable that way. And then our production, Andy Bay Films, creates a simple and exploratory connection between its subject and its audiences. So SIE and other social impact films are really big contributors to films like our own. Thank you, Andy Bay, for sponsoring our film. So yeah, that's that part too. So the flowing commentary and consistent emotion through the scene makes for an imaginative and relatable experience despite the differences in humanity. So even though you may have differences between Ed and yourself, you can kind of relate to just the natural flow of an understanding conversation, and you're really able to fill in the gaps with your imagination and kind of create a story for him based on the 3 minutes of his life that he was able to give us. And understanding that love, passion, and motive are personal and powerful, and every mind has the ability to empathize with other people rather than just having egocentric views of the world. So being able to understand that people's personalities and people's experiences also help them learn to empathize and learn to understand one another. And I think that this film kind of does a good job of singling that down and making sure that people are really truly understanding the power of their own minds and their own thoughts and their own feelings, so that they're able to relate to each other at the end of the day. And this was a quote that Ed had. I did a lot of painting and drawing of elephants years ago. It was nice that it was a whole body, feet, and everything. I'm going to start doing those again. This quote stood out to us because not only does it talk about his past and the things that he liked to do and that would bring him joy in the past, but I like that he points out that it was a whole body, feet, and everything. He wants us to know that when he drew elephants, they told the whole story of who they were and there was no part left out. And I think that that's a really interesting concept, just because we're talking about Sonder and not knowing what it's like going on in somebody else's head or whatever. I think that it's interesting that he said that the reason he liked drawing elephants and the reason why he was going to do it again was because it tells the whole story. So I thought that was cool.
And I'm just going to wrap things up. We're going to include our director's statements since we are co-directors on this film. We just kind of talked about why we decided to make a film about this kind of concept rather more than like this kind of cause. So we're just kind of thinking about like as you're walking down the street and people are brushing past you on both sides, you tend not to think about those people and what they've been through and what their kind of life story looks like. And so through Sonder, we wanted to show like in a 4 minutes or less that every person on this planet has an absolutely beautiful story and experiences that deserve to be told and deserve to be captured in such like a beautiful light and framed in such a way. We chose to highlight someone that you may walk by on a daily basis and really not usually give a second thought per se, but this person is someone that also has so much depth and passion and deserves to have a spotlight shine on them. So our goal is to make our audience become more aware of this beauty of human life and our overall interconnectedness. This is just a quick little meet our team. So if you have any interest about our backgrounds or want to learn more about us, this is some info on Brynn and myself. And finally, if you want to connect with us and ask us any further questions, here are our emails. We look forward to hearing from you, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you.